Welcome back to Blind Item Breakdown. Our first blind item is about the Kardashian and Jenner family. It reads, this reality family not only has a fake house where they film shows, but also have a house that they use for all their social media posts, which is more set up like a soundstage. Now, with Kylie pushing her latest rack of Jenners onto her fans recently, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, she admitted to what she got done to her chest. I'm starting to realize more and more that every single thing about this family is fake.
Kylie literally just shared exactly what she got when she got her breast implants, and it's literally this is the details. Let me break it down for you guys. 445 cc is basically the size of the implant. Moderate profile is how high or how low, and moderate profile is not too low. It's like perfectly, it's not too high. Under the muscle apparently actually looks way more natural than over the muscle, and then silicone is going to be more of that squishy implant versus saline is going to be like that implant that has like liquid in it, which is who Alex Earl has, and Garth Fisher is her doctor. The real question, you guys, is how much does Garth Fisher charge? Because us girls want to know.
Like, even down to where they live, and the content that they're posting isn't real. This comment reads, the Kardashians, and it makes a lot of sense. Not only do they get to maintain their privacy, but filming can be very hard on a house. LR writes, that's smart. Why show criminals the layout of your actual stuff so they could rob you easier? The Alley responded, I agree, they are fakers, but they also have private lives and would not want unwelcome visitors at 3 a.m. Both Kendall and Kylie have had strangers on their property. These trespassers who are trying to break into their homes.
I had someone break into my house. I used to be the one who was so independent. I was always kind of by myself in a good way, but now it's like fully flipped. So I came home one night and there was a guy sitting on the side of my street, and I was like, that's so weird. Like, he just looked like a homeless man, like sitting in his knees like this in the street. And so I was like, that's weird. So I like drove around him. I went into my house and I watched the gate close. So I turned my car off, getting my stuff together. I'm about to open my door and I look in my rearview mirror and he was standing like right there with, I just saw his like figure. In the gate? In the gate, right behind my car.
It says, Kylie, will you marry me? And some other pictures attached to it. I'm going to photograph this. I think you need to check it out in the morning. I'm not going to touch it anymore. But I think you have to call security back. She's 17. This is creepy. I'm calling the gate. Somebody just delivered pizzas here. Who let this pizza company in the... Don't eat the pizza. Do not eat one piece of that pizza. It could be poison.
So if it's for security reasons, I could understand, because some of these creeps are like convinced they're in a relationship with Kylie. They'll show up to the home and who knows what they're capable of doing. Tiny Tiger writes that Kris Jenner said that the house that was shown at the beginning of the show was just a random house because she wanted to make sure her family was safe. Now this year, Kylie Jenner did say goodbye to the Kardashians' childhood home. She did one last walkthrough of the house that the family had lived in when they started the Keeping Up with the Kardashians show. Now part of me is not buying that they did not live in this home. I think they're trying to give us some mixed signals, so we really don't know what the truth is.
Saying goodbye to my bathroom growing up because we're selling our house. This was Kendall's bathroom. Obviously the complete opposite.
But nonetheless, they are living the life in these gigantic mansions. And unfortunately, security isn't too great, especially if you're up in the hills. I don't know how Calabasas is, but if you're crazy enough, you'll get to their home if you really want to, which I would not recommend. Please, no one do that. That's such weird behavior.
Remember in the early seasons of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, they would always show this house? The Studio City home was famously used for exterior shots of Kris Jenner's mansion on the show. But this wasn't Kris's actual house. It was just used to pose as her place. And here's the most interesting part. The very house Kris Jenner pretended to live at is now up for sale. 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, almost 8,000 square feet of living space on almost 1 acre of park-like grounds. The asking price, $8.9 million.
That last blind item was a crazy one, but you guys know I cover celebrity scandals all the time, and at this point I've pretty much seen it all. But sometimes I look at these public meltdowns and I think if they had just talked to my psychic Emma, they wouldn't be in such a mess. And honestly, I say that from experience. A while back, I was deep in one of those confusing breakup phases. The kind where you're rewatching old photos, reading into those text messages that never came, and just trying to make sense of it all, convincing myself, will they come back? Seeing me like this, one of my friends raved about going to a psychic named Emma on an app called AstroTalk. So I downloaded it out of half curiosity and half desperation. And really, I didn't expect anything, but once I got connected with a psychic, things got accurate and fast. No joke, the first thing she asked was, "You broke up about 3 months ago, right?" She said, "You're holding on to a past lover who's not meant to return. And I can see a person with green eyes who's about to show up in about a month." She said, "They will see you for who you are." And of course, I was caught off guard. Okay, clairvoyant queen. That is just way too specific. But 10 days later, someone new showed up and they had green eyes and a connection I didn't even know was possible. I'm not saying it's magic, but Astro Talk gave me the clarity I needed to stop overthinking alone. So if you are in a situation where you are stuck, if you're wondering if your ex is coming back or if you should wait or just go ahead and walk away, this is your sign to talk to someone who might have real insight. The first session of Astro Talk is completely free. You can ask anything. Do they still think about me? Is it finally over? Am I about to meet someone new? And who is my soulmate? And trust me, you will be shocked at how spot on it is. I will drop the link in the description below. Do not spiral alone. Go and check it out, or maybe you'll end up in a blind item. Our next blind item is about Jojo Siwa. It reads, "The bad version of the name," realizes that's so shady because there's Jojo the singer and now Jojo Siwa, realizes that people grow bored very quickly. So the former tween teen adult reality star has plans to take things as far as she can without going into OF territory. So she doesn't want to get into PORN, but she'll do everything else. I mean, her new relationship with Chris Hughes is pretty controversial. This comment reads, "I hope she finds her way because I think she's a nice person." Another person adds, "Growing up on TV, Jojo doesn't know who she is. She's been influenced by her handlers, like her mom, who don't have her best interests in mind. If she doesn't get out soon, she'll end up like Amanda Bynes." We all know what Amanda Bynes went through, which is so horrific. And I have to tell you guys, I see Amanda out and about in LA living her best life. She seems okay, but I don't think she's the same. The industry absolutely destroyed her, and I don't think that Jojo Siwa is invincible from that kind of destruction. Another comment reads, "Hopping on and off multiple reality shows, a failed attempt at a pop star music career, fake PR relationship with a man." Yeah, her 15 minutes are up. Go away, Jojo. Now comment below, do you guys think that her relationship with Chris Hughes is fake? I mean, it seems pretty real to me, but I mean, I don't know, like, we don't know the dirty details. We don't know how far they've gone, and honestly, I don't need to. TMI. Another comment reads that Jojo's so desperate for fame, she's just not that likable. Now, there's a lot of information coming out about these two. They're pushing their relationship on us hard. Jojo actually revealed the moment she realized that she had feelings for Chris Hughes, who's currently 32. She's 22, but you know what? There's something about their age gap I don't like. I mean, a 10-year isn't too bad, but she's still so young. She's like switching orientation every other week, which, you know, go for you. Good for you, girl. Like, you know, do your thing, go off. Not trying to offend anyone here, but I do think that she's vulnerable to him taking advantage of her fame, her power, her name. I mean, I didn't know who Chris Hughes was before Jojo, and I probably wouldn't have if Jojo didn't show interest in him. And this 32-year-old man who's been on dating shows in the past knows this. He's creeping around. Reflecting on her feelings for Chris, Jojo said, "I'm very, very happy where we are currently. Obviously, I mean, I literally smile every single second of every single day now." I mean, that's good for you, but I don't even know if that's healthy. Jojo's got her veneers on display. It's like a walking billboard for Dr. Sands. She claims that her feelings for Chris were like a light switch happened. She genuinely doesn't know, which is probably a great answer for her because she did technically cheat on her partner, Kath, on national television.
At what point did you realize that your feelings for Chris might be more than friends?
Loads of different times. Loads of different times on different levels. I'm very, very happy with where we are currently, obviously. Very, very, I mean, it literally smile every single second of every single day now. But one of my personal biggest frustrations in my life right now is that I actually don't know. I genuinely don't know, and I've spoken to him about it, I've spoken to my mom about it. I don't know the moment that it was never like a light switch happened. It just, you know what I mean? And so yeah, I genuinely don't know.
That's okay.
It's serendipity.
We love Chris!
Earlier this week, Jojo said, "Obviously, I have a beautiful boy here." Boy? Ma'am, we're talking about a 32-year-old man. Jojo is so Jojo, saying, "Life is life, and I think there's no shame in splitting time." And all of a sudden, one is that way and the other is that way. I don't know where we go as we go, but yeah, I love it here. It's beautiful.
Will you relocate here, or are you gonna?
Look, I don't know the future of life. Obviously, nobody does. If you would have told me at the beginning of this year that
Does Chris have to get a visa?
I think both Chris and I have to get our visas. No, I think
Chris is going to Hollywood.
oh, what a cutie. No, I think there'll definitely be a lot more time spent here, and I think from him as well, a lot more time spent over there. But we will have families, you know, on either end, and so it's very important to me to spend time here. Very important to me to spend time there. So you know,
it's gonna be exciting, isn't it?
I don't think honestly you ever live somewhere permanently.
Now, of course, Chris is doing as much talking about JoJo as she is about him. I mean, if this is a PR relationship, this is beautifully manufactured because they probably, I mean, the PR people would have seen that they were doing this thing on Big Brother and then jumped in on it and set it up like right after. Although I don't even think that they're smart enough to do that. I think that JoJo's, you know, really on this roller coaster. Chris said that she's just my favorite human and somebody I can talk about relentlessly. JoJo's become his favorite topic nowadays. A little bit creepy.
Me.
Hi.
God, I look good today. God, I look good today.
Now, I've been driving around Hollywood and I keep seeing these posters for Jennifer Lopez going to Vegas for a new residency. Congrats, J-Lo. They keep you to work out here. This blind item reads, this A-list everything in her mind celebrity made a deal with the casino that they will buy all the unsold tickets and give them away so every show looks like a sellout. She also wants it advertised that way as well. Wait. So you're telling me the new Jennifer Lopez Caesar's Palace residency agreed that they will buy all tickets that none of the fans wanted to get and then just, you know, give them out like, you know, dollars at the strip club just to people on the street to go and fill the seats because there's an agreement that they have to say that every show is sold out to kind of make it seem like Jennifer Lopez is in demand. Do we not forget the last tour that had to be canceled? I mean, it makes me think about Katy Perry. You know, props to her. It was a bad tour and she embraced it. She got her clout and now people are going there to see how bad it is. Nobody's even going to J-Lo's show. So this kind of agreement, I think, is so schemy. I mean, good for the people that are going to go and see her show. At least you won't be the only one. This comment reads, and what did she have to give back in return for them to do all that? Another adds that it has to be exhausting living in J-Lo's world of delusion. I'd settle for her being a mediocre actress, but she insists that she's an A-list performer that sells out any arenas. Mish writes, I'm over her. She needs to go away for a while and be with her kids. Morning Lori said, lying about her crowd size, I'm so over this and I've been over her since 2001. Whoa, so she's been over J-Lo since way back in the day. And I've heard mixed reviews about Jennifer Lopez's performances. Comment below if you've seen her live and what did you think of her performance and did she in fact sing? Like, could you tell? Another comment reads, not sure if they can fill it even that way. She belongs on the lounge stage. Tim Dunn said even the lounge would be half empty. Another comment reads, does J-Lo not read the comments in her social media posts? Every single comment is making fun of her. Charlie says that if J-Lo doesn't see them, then they simply don't exist. Now, Vegas residencies are in a weird place right now. I mean, Katy Perry left Resorts World like in bankruptcy pretty much because of her show and how much it cost them. So I don't think there's a lot of money for performers right now in Vegas, or at least for these performers. The show is going to be titled Jennifer Lopez Up All Night Live in Las Vegas. I feel like the reason she just hosted the AMAs is partly because she's doing this. She's trying to be, you know, fresh in our minds. And we would think back to that AMA performance and say, you know what? I actually want to go to Vegas to go and see this show. Which did anyone? I mean, did anyone go and see the AMA performance and like go, you know, think that they need to go and see her live again or live in person? I don't think so. So tickets are just going on sale this week. We'll have to see how they sell out. But according to that blind item, it doesn't really matter because the resort's going to pay for all of the rest anyway. So maybe if you are in Vegas between like December 30th and January 2nd and 3rd, you could like walk outside that resort and maybe snag a free ticket from someone passing them out. Or maybe J-Lo's kids will be passing them out because I have no idea where the hell they are.
Jenny from the block just doesn't know when to give up. J-Lo hosted the AMAs last night and then she announced she has a Vegas residency during New Year's and then spring break. And honestly, I feel like I'm in the majority when I say no one wants it. Return it. Keep it. I used to love J-Lo. Really though. Selena, love J-Lo. All of her rom-coms. She's phenomenal. But in the last couple of years, I feel like she's really turned me off. And honestly, with the young gentleman who was a makeup artist who passed away, and he was working on a J-Lo project, and they kind of just left him, I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. And I feel like I'm a little ill-informed, but I do think that when enough people say someone is not a kind person, when do we start believing them? And I feel like for J-Lo, she just doesn't do it for me anymore. So am I in the minority, or are you going to be buying tickets to J-Lo's Vegas residency?
Our next blind item is about Lindsay Lohan, and I must say I am a fan of Lindsay Lohan. This item reads, this week, the illiterate actress said that she thinks she should be an A-list movie star. Now she's trying to convince us that she hadn't had any work done to herself. Next week, it'll be that she never did any drugs and didn't make an SEX list to be found by the tabloids, bringing up her messy past. But wait, she's denying plastic surgery. Like radio to alien Earth, like, wait, could this even be factual? Like, clearly. We call it the J-Lo now. What do you mean? Like, everyone's getting the J-Lo. Kris Jenner got the J-Lo. What do you mean J-Lo's denying that she got the J-Lo? That's where the J-Lo was born. That's the face, you know, the brand new face. This comment reads, yes, I remember how wearing sunscreen magically gave me an eye lift too. Maria writes, oh, Lolo, you were doing so well. Don't start slipping now. Honestly, this is hilarious to me. I can't even take it seriously. I don't even want to give it the time of day, but I have to. I'm way too interested. Lindsay Lohan denies plastic surgery. I mean, even Kris Jenner and Kylie Jenner, they're all admitting to things they've recently had done. Why is Lindsay acting like she's too good for that? She claims that everyone does Botox, and Botox is what changed her face. Guys, I actually get some Botox in my forehead too, and part of it's like, I guess, cosmetic, but a lot of it was I started getting it when I was really in my early 20s because I had really bad migraines here. So it actually does help with that. Botox is not going to do what Lindsay Lohan had done. She also claims she drinks juice every morning that has carrot, olive oil, and lemon in it, green tea, a lot of water. She likes pickled beets. So, and her skincare is very specific. She's trying new serums right now. Girl, like, lying to the max. Lindsay Lohan is officially the gatekeeping final boss. Like, how are you going to try to tell us that you had some carrot and olive oil juice and you ended up looking like that? Can we actually, note to editor Olivia, can we put a little throwback picture of what Lindsay looked like and what she looks like now? Yeah, that's not drinking carrots, babe.
Can we just stop with all these celebrities and their bullshit beauty secrets? I'm so over it. Thank you, Kris Jenner, for just being like, hi, I got a facelift. Like, bitch, we know you got a facelift. It looks fucking amazing. Can we have your surgeon's name? Like, etc. You gave it to us. Put me on the wait list. I'm ready. Thank you. This? Oh, I'm a big pickled beets person. I put them in everything. Oh, girl, did you rub them on your face after your facelift? I get Botox, Dysport, Daxify, whatever the flavor of the month is. I get PRP under my eyes. I get filler in my lips, in my cheeks. I get every laser. Broadband laser, Moxie, Skillform, microneedling, facials. I fucking do everything. That is not beats.
Now, Lindsay's publicist is working overtime trying to convince us, saying, you know what the problem is with you young, beautiful women? Is what she says to Lindsay. The second that she looks any different, they assume that she had her face lifted at 37 or 38, or that she ripped apart this or that. It's so mean. Lindsay's like, I'm like, when? With what time? Where? Again, I mean, this publicist, they're just in their own world, right? I mean, is there a world where she did not have plastic surgery? The publicist says, so the haters can hate and be jealous. It just sucks that that's where they go with women in today's world. Women can't just look good to look good and change their lifestyle to be more healthy. Lindsay says you just have to do it and ignore everyone else. It looks like even Lindsay's father, Michael Lohan, is being tapped in to come and help push the narrative. He says that Lindsay's never had any plastic surgery done ever, but then admits that she's done peels, filler, and Botox. Michael continued, her look is so natural, just like her talent. It's disgusting for people to propagate false narratives. Not Lindsay's own father, Michael Lohan, trying to gaslight us all. I feel like Lindsay's mother just knows better to try to do that.
I've been working in aesthetics for the past 10 years, back when things weren't talked about as much, back when social media wasn't as big and there wasn't as much information and people were counting their firsthand experiences. And along with that, I had a lot of younger clients back then when I was living in LA coming in, this was during King Kylie's era as well, asking how to look like her, how to look like certain celebrities, and not realizing that some results are only attainable through surgery. However, when statements like this are presented where you're denying ever having surgery and accrediting it to just lemon water, chia seeds, beets, it does make it harder, and younger people are more impressionable that this can be attained that way. Setting realistic expectations for clients and for everyone out there just to know that this was surgically enhanced and not just through gimmicky diets.
Now, you guys know I love me some Miley Cyrus, but I am a little bit concerned of her being trapped in that cult, the Modern Mystery School, which I've been doing a deep dive on lately, not for myself, but for something else. But Miley Cyrus, this former teen actress turned A-list adult singer, sometimes adult actress, has let it be known that she is not planning to tour anytime soon within the next 5 years, if ever again, which goes back to that cult. That's why she stopped touring. I mean, she claims it's because of like her voice, but I really think the cult wants to keep her close. Part of the reason why Shawn Mendes continues to flop. He's in the same one. This related headline reads, Miley Cyrus says that she has Reiki's edema, a disorder that makes her voice super unique. Comment below if you guys like my edema, like pronunciation. I can never pronounce anything, and you guys come for me every time. I know, Chalamet, Timothy Chalamet. Okay, let's not get off topic. Miley Cyrus has opened up about her experience with this vocal cord disorder that leaves her with a little raspy tone. Who was that one from Mob Wives that I loved? Big Ange. She talks like that. I feel like I have to like hold my to do that noise.
You need to take care of me. That's what men do. They take care of their wives. The wife does take care of the man. Sorry, I will not do it. I'm very old school.
Miley says being 21 and staying up drinking and smoking and partying after every show did not help her voice. So she claims she has this very large polyp on her vocal cords, ouch, which has given her a lot of tone and texture. And she doesn't want to get rid of that because if she were to, it might actually change how her voice sounds entirely.
The journey is usually the part that you remember anyways.
I mean, she's like, what, like 30-something years old, and she sounds like she's had quite a life. I mean, Hannah Montana's been through it. Miley claims it's really difficult to perform with this vocal disorder because it's like running a marathon with ankle weights on. She says she'll call her mom and she'll go, oh, you sound like you're talking through a radio. And that's how you know I'm really tired, because it creates that ultimate vocal fry, like Valley Girl to the max, where she's no longer in the Valley. She's now gone to retire in New Jersey.
It's a heavy voice.
It's a heavy voice.
You didn't always have a heavy voice, though. Like when my kids love Hannah Montana, by the way.
Yeah.
So when I would watch, your voice was different.
It's definitely changed. I kind of learned a lot about the voice and how our experiences affect our voice. I had a surgery in November on my voice. I had something called Reiki's edema, which when my doctor told me about it, he said, no one shy ever has this. This is for abuse of the voice. This is for people that talk way too fucking much. And usually this happens when you're like in your 60s or 70s.
How do I not have that?
I don't know. I don't know. Mine, I think, honestly, really, I started touring, you know, at probably 12 or 13. And not only was the adrenaline that you have after a show, it's not really the singing that affects your voice as much. It's afterwards, you're totally on. And then it's really hard to get that sleep. You stay up talking all night.
Now let's get into a little bit of Diddy, and it looks like Ray J and Wendy Williams. This blind item reads, so the producer, wannabe rapper, used the reality star / PORN star to orchestrate the downfall of the illiterate former talk show host, which is about Diddy and Ray J seemingly taking down Wendy. Wendy Williams is one of my career aspirations. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about that out here, but I love Wendy Williams, and she's inspired a lot of what I do nowadays. So anytime I hear that someone's messing with our girl Wendy, I'm not okay with it. It's not cool. This comment reads, Ray J is always bragging about how much he likes hanging around Diddy and how loyal he is to him and would do anything for him. They should let Wendy take the stand and it would be game over. Tink is saying, so now you're saying that Diddy used Ray J to give Wendy drugs to help her downfall. That's nuts. But this person replied that it's actually not that nuts. Ray J is known for doing things like this. Think about what happened to Whitney Houston. He was actually there on the scene at the Beverly Hills Hilton Hotel, where she had passed away, and his attendance there didn't quite make sense. And then her, sudden death, okay, things are starting to add up. I just don't know if people want to do that equation. We're just not ready for that equation yet. I don't like this at all. Stunna Girl alleges that Ray J took Wendy Williams on a drug binge. Village. Stunna Girl has some serious dirt on Ray J regarding Wendy's troubling battle. She writes on social media, instead of constantly being worried about me, Ray J needs to focus on what he did to Wendy Williams. She ain't been the same since you took her on that drug binge. Now, this is quite an accusation that maybe Ray J had fed so many drugs to her that it kind of chemically changed her mind. Throughout the years, Ray J and Wendy have sustained a friendship for quite some time, but there was a short period in which internet sleuths have a strong belief that there was something more there. Now, besides Stunna speaking out, we don't have too much more to go off of. Of course, Ray J is not going to address this, and Wendy Williams couldn't address it if she wanted to. Keep in mind that Wendy Williams is like a sleuth like a lot of us are. We dive into these stories. We look for, you know, the paper trail. And when it came to Diddy, she knew so much more about him. So when it came to her, I mean, potentially being a witness, it's pretty convenient for her to be in a conservatorship or a guardianship because she's technically in New York. I do think that there is a motive here, if there was a crime committed, for Diddy to want Wendy Williams to be incapable of telling the world anything. And if her show was live right now, whenever he's under trial, shoot, I'm sure we would get a lot of slip-ups.
Did he get Wendy Williams fired? Yeah, he sure did. And then what happened, it was, I did the Wendy Williams show. Yeah, when if I remember the story right, Wendy Williams she was saying a whole bunch of stuff about Puff that y'all talking about right now. In fact, Wendy Williams was the first one to expose Puff. And the things that she was saying about Puff, the allegations, he was denying them. But Wendy was in the way saying she knew. So the more she kept talking about it, the more he used his power to get her fired. And then she wasn't supposed to say his name out of her mouth again unless she was doing an interview or something like that she could speak on him. So when I went to do the interview, she was really happy to have me on the show because she had a chance to talk about him again. That's what happened. Because she was telling about all of these freaky parties and all of that, all of the male-male relationships, and talking about the people in those high powers and what they're doing to these little boys like that, giving them record labels. And they're giving these little boys, for every boy, they was a bad boy, gave them a record label. Wendy been telling them kind of stories.
Our next blind item is about Andy Cohen. It reads, the talk show host thinks he's invincible, but his bosses are tired of all the drama he brings to the table. Comment below if you are a fan of Andy Cohen or Bravo. Honestly, I am a fan of all the above. But at Bravo, Andy's in an interesting position because he's also one of the top producers there and also one of the talent because he appears in the shows, the reunions, he has his own show there. So even though Andy could be unsettling to some of the executives, I mean, he really brought the Real Housewives to Bravo, and you guys know what it's become now. It's huge. This comment reads, bosses of the channel that is nothing but stupid fake drama doesn't like when their stars bring stupid fake drama to the table. The irony. I think the problem with the fellow executives is they don't like that Andy's bringing a lawsuit to the table because that's going to cost them some money. And it all goes back to Leah McSweeney. The claim is that Andy used social media to unleash a coordinated attack to smear Leah after she made a damning claim about him and his Real Housewives shows. Now, this isn't just social media back and forth. This has been brought to the courtroom because she is suing, which I love because that results in discovery. We get the truth, we get evidence, and I love to see it all. Now, in 2024, it looks like Leah claimed in a lawsuit that Andy Cohen had snorted some snow emoji with other cast members, and producers pressured her to fall off the wagon. So she's saying that it looks like Andy was doing some drugs with cast members, which isn't great. Not a good look for a boss. Now she claims in court papers that he abused his power to direct or induce an army of Bravo stars to claim that Leah is a liar in the press. Because essentially he doesn't want everyone thinking that he's, snorting up the white powder. He's doing his big Charlie XCX moment. So he wants these cast members he's got a following to go and say these claims about Leah to go and discredit her, so no one believes that Andy's capable of doing the Charlie XCX. Now, there are a lot of names in this lawsuit. We've got Luann, we've got Kyle Richards, Melissa Gorga, Candy Burris, Dorinda. Everyone is just at Andy's fingertip and happy to go and talk crap about Leah. At least that's what she's saying. This suit also outlined some specific examples, like Lisa Vanderpump appeared on The Talk and said, I'm on Andy's side. Heather Dubrow appeared on a podcast saying that Leah should be thanking Bravo rather than suing Bravo, because now Leah is thriving and making money because of the Bravo platform. Margaret Josephs of the Real Housewives of New Jersey told Page 6 that Leah's claims are intended to do nothing but assassinate Andy's character, and that is disgusting. So what Leah is saying is that these people don't have these opinions about me. They're being instructed by Andy to go and say these things. So if the judge wants to spend their time looking at this, they could go and subpoena for Andy's text messages and see if he did bring up Leah to any of these cast members and ask them to go and talk bad about her. Not a really great position to be in.
It seems that Andy is not happy with Leah's allegations about his use of Coca-Cola with Real Housewives stars, as his lawyer just sent a letter to Leah's saying, "The allegations were obviously made up by you and or your client to achieve maximum tabloid clickbait value in the hopes of weaponizing these false allegations, along with other lies that permeate the complaint, as leverage to force an unjustified settlement." And honestly, it's hard to argue with that. Like, the Coca-Cola thing had very little to do with all of the other allegations. I don't really see any reason to include it other than trying to stir up conversation in the press, and they succeeded in doing that. Way more people were talking about that than the actual substance of Leah's lawsuit, and I don't know if that's necessarily good for her case. I'm taking this as a positive sign that Andy is going to keep defending himself and not just let this attempted character assassination happen with no pushback, and good for him.
Our next blind item is about Chrissy Teigen, John Legend's wife. This annoying former A-list celebrity wanted to be a SI cover model this year so much they said no, so she got a bunch of work done to try to make it yes for next year. That would be so sad to like go to a shoot or I guess a audition and be told, hey, you're actually not good enough looking anymore. So that's what Chrissy, I guess, experienced, and she went to the doctor's office to go and try to get some work done. This episode's so heavy on plastic surgery. I hope you guys love yourselves out there, at least more than these people do. This comment reads, between the decline of print media and all the weird PR stunt cover models, I'm not sure why anyone would be that desperate to be on the cover of anything. Another comment reads, Chrissy needs to stay gone for a while. Another person added that someone once said that Chrissy's face looks like a whoopee cushion and I can't unsee it. Okay, well, be nice now because Chrissy just came out from surgery and she just got her hairline lowered, which okay, interesting. Honestly, I wouldn't mind if mine was a little bit lower, but like just having surgery seems so unnecessary. I like being happy and healthy right now. Chrissy says, a lot of you guys are wondering about my hospital pic, which was very understandable because I gave no explanation. I had a hairline lowering procedure, lost a lot of the front from babies, and it's very thin up there. When you see it on a carpet, it's always extensions. She shared more about her healing process, admitting that it's really a journey. Maybe she'll write a book about it. This woman just wants all the attention that she can get. And there was a moment where I think she went live on Instagram, like to go and try to get some people to like go and, you know, record her and try to make it seem like it was an accident on her end, just to go and stir up some attention. I think this is just really sad that like she's at this point where she's gonna fake not knowing how to use Instagram to go and get people to catch her so they're interested in what she could be getting done.
Yay!
Chrissy hasn't been shy when it comes to plastic surgery. She's talked about getting her boobs done. I believe she's had something done to her stomach, probably like lipo. It seems like she goes in regularly, like to go and maintain whatever's going on here. It looks like she did buccal fat removal, which is when they remove like the fat pad within your cheek, which I hear is a very invasive surgery. I'm not too sure, but it really can impact how you look later on in life. It is crazy that these celebrities are now admitting to these surgeries because the beauty standards have gotten so high, they just can't even keep up, that they have to go and acknowledge that they need to do things too to achieve the new standard, which I think is pretty sick.
You just do things, honestly, do things for you. Do what makes you feel good. Don't do it to impress others or to fit in this box for other people. I mean, the blood facial thing is pretty crazy. People, it's not crazy to us. I think I might have mentioned it on Twitter or something once. People were like, that's insane. It spins your blood into a gel and then you get it squirted into your face again. And that's pretty wild, I guess. But I don't know if it works, honestly, but I will say that it's not a bad experience. It's nice, a little painful.
Let's talk about David Harbour. This blind item reads, this 80s streamer actor is known for hooking up with crew members, and that didn't change while he was married. We did do a deep dive on Lily Allen and David recently on the channel, and their breakup was messy. I believe Lily went into like a mental hospital because it was so bad. This comment reads that David's a guy that didn't get famous until he was like 45, so he's living it up and making up for lost time. Another comment rates that I'm guessing David's wife found out and left him. Lily has made some comments about her relationship with David and about men in general preferring younger women. Now, these two were actually together for about 4 years until they split up, and we learned about this around Christmas time. Back in December, sources claimed that Lily found David cheating on the celebrity dating app Raya, which is ironically how they first met in 2019. Lily admitted back in January, "I'm finding it really hard to be interested in anything. I'm just not really in a good place. I know I've been talking about it for months, but I've been spiraling and spiraling and spiraling, and it's gotten out of control. I can't concentrate on anything except the pain I'm going through, and it's really, really hard. I'm going away next week. You're not going to hear from me for a few weeks." And that's when she went into the hospital. Now, because their split up has been so public, it looks like Lily has learned more and more about what he was doing behind the scenes, and it gets worse because she learns he wasn't just on the apps, but also having full-blown affairs.
Lily Allen is said to have been left devastated after claims that her husband, David Harbour, had a 3-year affair during the time of their marriage. The 39-year-old split from the Stranger Things actor back in December. The pair, who got married 5 years ago, had been living virtually separate lives for months. In January, Lily was left in agony after learning he had an active profile on celebrity dating app Raya, and according to the Mail Online, she's facing more heartbreak after he allegedly cheated on her with a costume designer during their time together. A source told the publication of the alleged infidelity and said David cheated on Lily. Talking of the supposed mystery female, who they allege he was involved with for 3 years, the source added they met on a movie they did together. They weren't very secretive about their relationship. They added David flew her to Atlanta while he shot Stranger Things to keep him company. Following her marriage breakdown, Lily admitted she had suffered crippling panic attacks sparked by the breakup. Last month, it was reported that David is dating a 27-year-old model, which would make her 22 years younger than him.
Lily, who's turning 40 this year, said that aging is particularly inconvenient if you get your validation from the attention of men, which I do. They seem to like them young, don't they? Actually, the reporter who was interviewing her said, "No, I don't think it's as simple as that." Lily quickly interrupted saying, "Oh, I think you'll find it is. I think you'll find it is." Older women can see the unattractiveness of men better than young, dumb women, which is why essentially men like them young and dumb.
The cringy profile. He never really made a response to the cheating allegations or the split or anything. And then afterwards, they officially announced their split. And now he's been seen with Ellie Beers Fallon, who is apparently 22. And no matter how long you grow that beard, you cannot hide that you're nearly 50 years old. It's giving man-life crisis. Now, she's meant to be a model. She looks British to me. Like, Americans won't know this reference, but she looks like Daniela Westbrook. Somebody tell me how this works. Somebody tell me how this works, because, like, her whole group, they look super shiny, loaded, and just young, okay? Like, literally more than half his age. How does she do, like, a Meet the Friends? Like, they're literally going to think she brought her grandpa. She must be a fan. Like, she must be a fan of him, because otherwise I'm lost.
Now, if you guys have not been keeping up with Let's Get Into It podcast, definitely go and check it out. I posted a new episode yesterday, and we talk about Pax, who is Angelina and Brad Pitt's son. This blind item reads, "The crazy thing is that this permanent A-list actress thinks one of her offspring is just going through a phase and isn't going to end up in serious trouble if this continues." Now, like I said in yesterday's podcast, I feel like he is currently crying out for help because he has had multiple crashes last year. Now he's drunk and he's like 20 years old out on the Sunset Strip. Like, who's his parent? Where are his parents? Like, Angelina's having too much fun at the Cannes Film Festival that she can't go and check up on her son. This comment reads that supposedly their son Maddox have been to rehab several times, and there was a blind about an essay that many guessed was him. Joan writes, "We'll see how they are in a few years. Some Mommy Dearest books may have been out there by then. It's obvious that Angelina Jolie has no clue how to raise kids. Why would she with her upbringing? Plus, Brad Pitt at least knows what normal looks like, but she has no idea." Another person questioned, "So Angelina's Angelina's not blaming Brad? Gold Dust writes that Angelina never cared to do real parenting, didn't have any rules, just laissez-faire for the kids. I remember that was reported on before they divorced. PJ commented, I remember hearing that she let her kids drink from a young age. Now, I think this is ridiculous that Angelina Jolie has created a contract for her son to sign because he keeps getting into motor vehicle accidents, multiple types, from Teslas to e-bikes. Angelina, for once, is setting strict conditions for her son's return to the road, requiring him to take defensive driving lessons. More like he needs like the opposite. Like we need to, defend from him. I don't know if he's defending from anyone else. Now, his first accident left him unscathed, but he didn't learn his lesson. And the second accident was much more serious. I believe he has a permanent scar to the side of his face now. Also, we've got mixed reporting. It says Angelina wants him to take some defensive driving lessons. Why didn't he take those last year after his first crash? Also, she's made him sign a contract promising he'll always wear his helmet. The source says that it's going to give Angelina some anxiety every time that he leaves the house on his bike. All she can do is hope that he realizes how lucky he is to be alive with his brain intact. Ugh, that gives me like medical anxiety. I have anxiety for you, Angelina. Now, one of these witnesses, her name is Lola. She was one of the first people on the scene of the accident that Jax was in. And she says that she was directed to apply pressure at the site where it was bleeding. His mouth was filled with blood. When he was trying to speak, I saw a little tiny stream of blood coming out of his mouth. Ugh, that is so terrifying. Lola said we did everything we thought would be necessary to make sure the EMT arrived and to make sure oncoming traffic from both sides keep moving on instead of piling up, which would make the EMT's approach impossible. Well, he's really lucky that she was there, because I'm one of those people who thank God for those angels out there and those nurses out there, because I do think I'm a very reactive and confrontational person. But when I see, even thinking about blood right now, I'm having to put my hands on the table and my feet on the floor because I just will pass out. So seeing that would make me faint. Other things, I like to think I stand up and would help people if I can. I just don't, even right now I'm starting to spin. Whew, take a moment, Sloan.
Concerns grow for Pax Jolie Pitt after unsteady night out in Los Angeles. Pax Jolie Pitt, the 21-year-old son of Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt, was recently seen in a concerning state after a late night out in Los Angeles. According to eyewitnesses and photos obtained by the Daily Mail, Pax appeared visibly unstable as he left the famed Chateau Marmont on Saturday night, reportedly needed assistance from friends to stand and walk. Witnesses say the aspiring photographer and former assistant director on one of his mother's recent films struggled to maintain his balance as he exited the Hollywood hot pot. He was seen leaning on companions for support as he made his way down the sidewalk. The group, which included 4 women and 1 man, continued their night at a nearby club. The group remained inside for about 30 minutes and wrapped up their evening around 2:30 a.m. At one point, a woman in the group was seen holding hands with Pax while trying to hide her face from cameras.
Thank you guys for tuning in to this week's edition of Blind Item Breakdown. What do you guys think of the blind items in the comments below? Let's start off by talking about a few of them. Let's go through. I'm just stuck on the Lindsay Lohan of it all. Denial is a river, babe, and you are swimming deep in it, because that is definitely some work that she's had done. I don't no shame to it. It's just more weird when she's got her publicist over here, fake conversation arguing with her about how the haters are gonna hate and they're jealous. It's are we really haters? I don't think I'm a hater. I don't like to think I'm a hater at all. I'm a realist. A real one out here. One of the only real ones. I'm just kidding. You guys are real AF too, and I love you all so much. Thank you for watching this episode, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.